Hello traders, today is Thursday, October 24th, 2024. I'm going to go over 14 different names. As per usual, please make sure to do your own due diligence and research before you risk any of your capital in any type of investment. This is not financial advice. This content is for educational purposes only. Let's start the video with Amazon. Yesterday, Amazon was down about, 2.6%. It was a good drop right on this setup. I actually thought it was going to break resistance and go over 190 and start moving towards 200. Well, that didn't happen. You got rejected here once again, and you went down towards this trend line. Today, it closed almost at 1%. It's not mounting the 35 SMA. And, I think if we get a little bit of momentum towards 190, and if we get some decent earnings reports, which they probably are, considering some of the latest news that we got from Amazon about Prime Day and whatnot, I think that, we are definitely going to have a nice move. I wouldn't say to 200 specifically, but we're probably going to break the 190 resistance level. So keep an eye on this, the 35 SMA, this trend line right here that I'm putting back to, this area right here. And then keep an eye on resistance at 190. Let's move on to this interesting name. This was one of the most interesting names of the day, and that is ASTS. And at one point, let's go back to some of the things that I said about in other videos about ASTS. And what I was saying was that this is a type of stock, at least for now, that is very reactive to catalyst. That if you have a good, positive catalyst or news, you were probably going to see this move, very rapidly to the upside. We're talking about good news. And today or yesterday, there were news about a contract with the government. And pre-market, I think after hours, it was up around 5%. And today, during the trading hours, was up at one point almost 15%. Now, I'm not sure exactly what happened here. I was looking for news and stuff about what happened to this drop, and I really couldn't find any. So if you have any news that I couldn't find, please put links on the comments, or just let me know in the comments. It would be interesting to know, but I couldn't find anything relevant really. Maybe we can say that this reaction was profit taking. I'm not sure, really. I'm not sure, but I guess my point to this is this stock is still moving, very volatile, still very volatile, and I wasn't surprised to see this type of move, I guess. Even though we were up 15%, and then we end up closing almost at minus 5%. So that is a huge move. Maybe hopefully you were able, if you had calls or anything in the beginning of the day, I really hope you were able to get out. And if you're holding stocks, then maybe you don't have to worry that much. I also put this trend line right here, which we'll see what is the reaction of the price action to this trend line. I'm using this entire move to the upside as a reference for this trend line. But again, I think today was a pretty nasty move, considering that we were up 15%, very solid in the beginning of the day. Let's go to a 1 minute chart. I even thought about trading this. But when I was looking at this name, this was already moving. So I was like, well, I don't want to be here. And then I think I missed this part right here. So I didn't buy. And then I thought, if it gets or retests this level, I'm going to get in. Well, it got here, and I'm really not sure. I didn't get in, and well, this thing ended up moving. This was a very nice move, and maybe there was a little voice behind. I don't know. Something in my mind was telling me don't get in it. Anyways, this kept going up. I think I thought percentage wise, I thought maybe this is too much. But anyways, when it was retesting, I really wanted to get in. I just didn't. This went up very nicely, and then throughout the whole day, it just was a total disaster. That, anyways, just let's keep an eye on this trend line and see how the stock is going to behave. You are already under the 35 SMA. And again, if you have any news or anything that would give me a little bit more of a, I guess, color into what happened today, would be fantastic. Anyways, let's move on to Bitcoin. And the only thing I can say about Bitcoin right now, I like the fact that we are moving right now at the time of the video 2.45%. We are again over the 67.3 level. We are almost or very close to the 69 level, but one of the things that I would love to see is momentum breaking this resistance level at 69. I think if we break 69, we are just going to move easily towards 71, which is this level, I believe. Yes, the 71. And at that point, we can see what is the behavior. But I think 69 right now might be a little bit of a, well, it's my resistance level right now. And I think if we break, considering that we have low liquidity, we might, start moving. We just need volume. That's all. Okay, so keep an eye on these two levels right now, at least for now, 67.3 and 69. Let's move on to Caterpillar is setting up interestingly. So let's take a look at CAT. And I haven't mentioned Caterpillar in a while, but I kind of like it to the downside, but we'll see. The reason why I like it to the downside, I think, is if you break resistance at 382.5 or 0.6, we're probably going to go straight towards 265 or 260, yeah, 265, give or take. There is low liquidity here. You also actually have low liquidity all the way down to 355, but I would love to see how we break support right here. If we do, MACD and TSI are not looking good. RSI is looking okay, but if we break here, nothing really happens on the 35 SMA, you're definitely going to go towards the 365 level. So the fact that the stock is losing momentum, there is divergence on the MACD and also divergence on the TSI is telling me that if we break the support level in the next few days, where we only have one trading day left for this week, we're probably going to go down towards this area right here, 365, and then we're going to encounter earnings on Wednesday of next week. That could be a positive, negative catalyst. I'm not sure how Caterpillar is doing fundamentally, but it will be interesting to see how this is going to move between tomorrow and Monday. Anyways, let's move on and mention, I think I mentioned CSCO yesterday as well. I'm going to mention it again. And we are right here. Okay, CSCO. So, it looks a little bit... I did have puts. I bought puts for CSCO yesterday. I'm not sure. I think, let's go to the 5 minutes. I bought these puts in this area right here. And then I sold them today. And why did I sell them today? And the reason why, I mean, they were green. I just put a take profit on my account, and then I had other things to do. But the reality is that I want to see a better behavior on the MACD and the TSI. I want to see a little bit more red, and I think if we get under 55 or so, right now we are at 56, 55.9. So I think if we get right under 55, or in that maybe 50 more cents, 55.5, it would be more enticing for me to really believe in this trend. Earnings are not coming until November 13, but the MACD and the TSI look pretty extended. RSI is already at the 70 level, and now pointing down and under the signal line. That's a good thing if you want to go short. I just want to wait a little bit more I feel comfortable selling my position today. And again, it's because I want to see, I just want to make sure that we're not starting to flag right here and maybe continue going to the upside into earnings. So I want to see a little bit more momentum to the downside before I feel more comfortable having any positions. So I still sold at a profit, but and I don't know, maybe we get a drop of 2% or something tomorrow, and it is what it is. But for now, I want to make sure that my entries are more intentional as far as how the setup looks. Right now, it looks like it's about to work out, in my opinion. I just don't want to, I don't want to trade trying to anticipate a move. Let's put it that way. So I want to see, you know, a little bit more of momentum on the way down. Anyways, price target to the downside would be 54.5 for now. And if we actually catch momentum, there is definitely not much to hold this stock until we get to 50. Well, I have on a level 52.6, but 52.6, give or take. That's what I have for Cisco. Now let's take a look at, where is this? ENPH. And one of the things that I mentioned on ENPH was, you know, I mentioned ENPH on the 22nd, which was a couple of days back. This was right on this candle right here. We actually already, when I mentioned ENPH, we already had the news about earnings. So this was already dropping. Anyways, yesterday it was down, I believe, 15%. Yeah, 15%. And one of the things that I said was, and there might be an opportunity if we continue going towards the 73 level, to buy, in the opposite direction. In this case, to buy a reversal. I think that could actually happen. One of the things that I didn't like, however, was that you had a nice move to the upside in the beginning of the trading session, or half of the day of, or half of session, and then sellers came in. So that was a little bit disappointing, but I do believe that I would give it a little more time. Let's get this a little bit smaller now. I would give it a little bit of more time and see how we're going to react in this area. And maybe we're going down to 73.5, whatnot, and then continue going up. But as I said on my on the video on the 22nd, I think there's definitely opportunity to the upside now that we have earnings behind us. Let's take a look if there is any news. Shares and face rose between the US presidential debate with whatever. MFCNME shares increased by 3.7 pre-market trading following notable performance. Okay. Anyways, I think there's opportunity. Just still give it a little bit more time. MACD and TSI is still very bearish. RSI is still not looking good, but it's pointing up. But we might see a little more selling pressure coming in the next few days, and then definitely I do believe there might be an opportunity, to catch a move to the upside. But for now, just give it some time, put it on a watch list or on a focus list, and then keep it there for a minute. Anyways, let's move on. I'm reading notes. Let's take a look at Google. And sorry about that. We had we're actually very solid rebound again on the 35 SMA, also the 200 SMA, and we are at support still at 165 or 64.5, 165. I think we need a little bit more momentum, obviously, to continue the move towards 70. MACD and TSI are neutral, but are kind of pointing down towards their zero line. That's also not good. I feel like Google is like moving so slow, and look at this, right? Like the move is like kind of disappointing, but anyways, and as long as we continue on top of the 200 SMA, 35 SMA, and over the support level at 165, I think we can maybe continue moving towards 170. We just have we need momentum out of this support level that is going to take us beyond this order shelf right here, or volume shelf, and then at that point we're probably going to see a nicer, more smooth move towards 170. But for now, this thing is moving very slow. I wish there was a little bit more momentum. The consolidation in this area is getting pretty wild. So as per usual, most of the moves that we're going to see once we break that consolidation level are going to be pretty decent, but that means that it could be to the upside or the downside. We'll see what happens next week with earnings. Earnings are on the 29th, so next week is going to be pretty wild actually. So let's wait for that. But Google, again, is just flat. At this point, I really don't have any opinion up or down. I'm just waiting. I'm looking at the support level that is going to either turn into resistance or I don't know. For now, support you have 165, and I'm sorry, yeah, support 165, but also another level of support you have the 35 SMA and the 200 SMA. That's what I have for Google. And now let's move on to another almost daily report on HIMS. And you know, I actually like what I'm seeing. What I was saying yesterday was, and this move was you know, a little bit of too much, I guess. And it turns out that there were some news from the FDA and competition basically asking the FDA not to allow HIMS to sell some of their products, but in reality, the percentage of of sales that is basically the equivalent of Ozempic that HIMS sales is a very small, at least for now, percentage of their sales. So this was definitely an overreaction, which at this point, I mean, it is what it is. Also, we are under the 2177 level. I think the 1817 level is still in play, in my opinion, before earnings. You know, it looks like they are gonna, out of some of the research that I've done, looks like you know, their earnings are gonna possibly be very decent. So I think if we have this kind of moves like what we had today was up 0.65%, but it was basically flat. If we see a little more of red, you know, a little low volatility moves, I think that is going to be a beautiful setup for a potential good earnings report. Now, if the earnings is bad, then don't be surprised and you go back down towards the 17 level. But right now, I think that 18.7 level is in play. So keep that in mind. I think the fact that we have low liquidity here is going to make us move or swing a little bit hard. But also, if we have, you know, this type of candles with volume around where we are right here, 5 million or 6 million shares per trading day, I don't think much is going to happen, which is a good thing for HIMS before earnings. Again, I'm still very enthusiastic about this name. I do believe that you can very easily go down to 18.7. But again, I think earnings, if they are surprising, we're going to see a lot of you know, volatility after that. I think that the market is a little bit risk off regarding earnings, and the companies that are actually beating expectations, Tesla was a good example today. The companies that are beating expectations are having a huge influx of money coming in, because it seems like, at least for now, the market is picking and choosing exactly what they want, and they just want to get things that at least are reporting for now, you know, that are having good reports and are having very good guidance. I mean, UPS was also today, and they did pretty well for UPS. So it seems like it's very black and white. You know, if the report is bad, it's just going to be terribly bad for the stock. And if the report is good, we're going to see a huge move. I think Affirm I think a lot of other names, even Amazon, Google, Meta. I think if the reports are decent, these things are just gonna fly. HIMS is one of them. I think we also have Hood coming next week. That is, I'm very interested in Hood. I really wish Hood was going down a little bit harder, but it's not. It was up almost 2% today. But anyways, going back to HIMS, it's the same story. I think that if the report comes up, you know, with some surprises to the upside, I think this is just gonna skyrocket. It would be, again, fantastic if we go down towards, and I say fantastic because I'm just being selfish here, if we go towards 1873 and then we have a nice move to the upside. But for now, it looks like if we consolidate in this area, that would be fantastic. Really, that would be probably the best case scenario if we consolidate and then we get good news. All right, that's what I have for HIMS. And now let's do another name that I mentioned. I mentioned this, LULU, actually. Let's do LULU. And I mentioned LULU a while back. And I mentioned LULU on October 2nd. Let's go to the 2nd. Where is the 2nd? September. I was right here. So I mentioned it on Wednesday. Go back to that video. All my videos have a date on the thumbnail. So anyways, the reason why I was mentioning it was because you were already breaking this trend line. You were testing this resistance level at 282, came down to the 35 SMA. That was very nice. And then you came back up to 282. Now you went down again, and this is where I was reporting the first time on LULU on the 35 SMA. Well, what happened, what I said was, like, if you rebound or if there is a nice move over here, you're probably, and if you break this resistance level, then you're definitely going to move towards the 300s. That happened exactly the same way. So the next day, my assumption on the look of this candle, because I'm not going to go back on the 1 minute or 5 minute to this date, but my assumption was that you had a sell-off in the beginning of the day and then buyers came back in, which was a good indication for the continuation of the move. You were right under the 35 SMA, and then the next day, which was a Friday, you just continue going up and up and up. You broke on resistance at 282 with momentum, and you just continue going up. Now, I'm not sure what is going to happen after this. I think it's obviously the 302 level is critical. There's a lot of volume right here. But if you actually go to the 302 level, then you're going to have a clearer path going towards the 200 SMA. And then you can reassess your position once you get to that point. But this was, again, go back to that video on October the 2nd. This is one of those calls that I wouldn't say it was obvious, but I was very interested on the behavior on not only the trend line right here, but also on the 35 SMA right here. But it actually played out very nicely. So you had an opportunity going here. The way I would have traded was probably buying here, selling here, and then buying here, and I would be getting out or again. That's the way I like to trade. But anyways, very nice move, up 2% today. And again, your critical level right now is this resistance at 302 point. What is it? Let me see this because I can see very 2.2.8. Very nice move. Now let's move on to, I don't know when it was the last time I mentioned this name, but let's review it. I'm not gonna do Meta. I'm not gonna do Microsoft. I want to give it a few more days, but I like the fact that Meta is moving slowly to the downside before earnings. Where is the, oh, okay, this is it. Yeah, okay, let's do net NET. So let me take a note on this. The MACD and the TSI are well over the 0 line. That's fine in this case. I think I like the reaction that we're having on this support level at 87.3. We were up 2.2% today. I would give it a maybe one more day or so and see what is the move right here in case this actually comes down, or maybe tries to retest, or maybe it actually gets invalidated and the let me see, that, you know, what we are thinking that might happen doesn't really work. I don't like this. Anyways, so for now you might be flagging, and now you're gonna have another continuation. I mean, this name has been moving. Let me, you know, as I'm zooming out, I'm just seeing things. Let's do this candle. That makes more sense. Let's get rid of this. So I as you can tell, I've been following this name for a minute. Let's get rid of this. That's the past. And yeah, there might be something going on here. Let's just keep an eye on this for now, maybe for 1 day or two, and maybe there is an opportunity for to get a position. No, I don't like this. To get a position for let's just keep this more simple. I'm sorry, I just want to have something for my own reference. So yeah, let's see if we break this trend line, and at that point there might, I mean, this might make some sense to actually take some risk. MACD and TSI are not looking bad at all. They are not overextended. They are kind of neutral actually, even though the MACD is right under the zero line. Not zero line, I'm sorry, the signal line. But we'll see if there's momentum tomorrow. I would love to see that, because you have low liquidity here. So you might actually, there might be an opportunity here for a, you know, 3 or 4 day swing, and then just, you know, at least for me, and then just you know, move on into something else. NET looking pretty good. Let's just wait. You know, there's low liquidity here. Let's just wait for this trend line to be broken. You know, I wanna go towards. I saw this today, and why not mentioning it? And that is SOFI. So one of the things that that worries me about SOFI right now. But let's start with this. Today it was up almost 5%. Let's go take a look at the 5-minute chart and see how this looked. It was a pre-market move, and that's why the candle looks like that. And then sellers came in. You know, it got stable towards the middle of the session, and then that was it. So you had a pre-market move. I wonder if there were news. Again, the way I trade a chart, so I'm not that into really digging for news or whatnot. But one of the things that is concerning to me is the fact that we are this extended. I like SOFI, by the way. I currently work with them, and I like them. You know, I like the fact, no, actually, it makes me nervous. I like the company, but it makes me nervous that we are this extended going into earnings. Earnings are next week on Tuesday. Jesus, you have like 2 more trading days, and I'm not sure if it's, let's see, if it's Tuesday morning. Ooh, pre-market, Tuesday pre-market. So they better do well. I think it makes me uncomfortable, to be honest, the fact that we are this extended, we're overbought right before earnings. Now, if tomorrow you have a nice sell-off towards this resistance level at 1022, and maybe a continuation of that sell-off the following day, then you have, oh no, yeah, so you have tomorrow and Monday. I don't know. I personally feel I wouldn't go long on this. No, not even like as a lotto. I would be like, I'm way too extended. How is this going to react? Unless they have outstanding earnings. And to be honest, I don't know if that's going to be the case. So, but the other thing is, if their earnings are not good, this is just going to dump. You know, I mean, you might go under 8, no problem. I mean, this gap is probably going to fill. And that's why, you know, I feel a little bit uncomfortable seeing the chart, the way it looks for a company like SOFI that trades, you know, very volatile, you know, during earnings reports. I don't know. Like, let's take a look at these earnings. It was down 10%, and this was in April. The following earnings report, it was up 1%, but not shortly after went down a good percentage. This was August 5th, so it doesn't count. But before that, you also were selling off very heavily. I don't know. I don't know. I just be very cautious. You know, I personally wouldn't be like, oh, I'm gonna buy some lotos. I'm buying calls on SOFI. If that's how you wanna, you know, utilize your money, I mean, find something else that looks a little more stable and has some, maybe a consolidation or something, and you have some idea of what the business is gonna do for earnings, and maybe in that case, you know, you can risk it, but not in this type of chart. Anyways, I like SoFi. Again, I work with them. They are easy to work with, but in reality, you know, when I see a chart like this, I would not touch it, especially right before earnings. I just wanted to mention that on SoFi. I saw the chart and I was like, Jesus, this looks like a ticking bomb. Now, if earnings are good, well, you're gonna gap up, and then I don't know. The chart is gonna look like a total mess. Anyways, let's take a look at sound count, and this is an AI. Wait, let me take a quick note on this is an AI sound generator, I believe, or something like that. And NVIDIA is an investor in this company. That is obviously add credibility to what you do. I mentioned this name on the 21st, so not that long ago, 3 days ago. So we were right here. One of the things that I was saying was either you're breaking this level right here, which you weren't doing it at the time of the video, so your resistance level is 5.5. But what I was saying is like you can retest the trend line or go down to the 35 SMA. Gee, that is happening. Kind of like, you know, now that I'm seeing this, it looks kind of like LULU. Go back to LULU and take a look at the 1-day chart and look at the 35 SMA and the behavior that they had. Anyways, today was up. So my dog is kicking the door, but anyways, today was up 6%. That's pretty good. MACD and TSI are not looking bad at all. They look kind of neutral. They're starting to move a little bullish. RSI is pointing up, about to cross the signal line. That's also good. But I do believe that now your critical point of resistance is 5.5. Once it breaks that, then I would personally feel more comfortable jumping into this. You are retesting this, not a trend line, but you're very close to it. This line right here, and you have this trend line on the bottom, this trend line on the top. You can do the same on your chart if you want to. You even can go like from here and here, which makes it tighter, but I just use this one right here. Anyways, you're retesting the 35 SMA very close to the trend line, and now I do believe if you want to actually be more, I wouldn't try to anticipate the move because you can get rejected here again, but I would wait until breaking this level right here, 5.5, and then we're probably going to see a nice move to the upside. Let me see if I have. So let's do this together. So you're basically here. You might have a tight move. Because I like to be more precise. So you are right on the 35 SMA. So you have to basically follow this arrow right here, break resistance 5.5, and then you're probably gonna have a decent entry. This might actually move very nicely. When our earnings are coming on November 12th, so there's still some time for that. Okay, that's what I have for sound. And let's talk about Tesla. And I mean, what is there to say about it, right? It was I feel like Tesla carried the entire market today, or NASDAQ today. I feel like a lot of the green that we are seeing is because the market is saying, oh, shoot, we have a huge company like Tesla that had a pretty decent report. And is that going to happen with the rest of, the Magnificent Seven, for example? Maybe. I do believe that, honestly, a lot of what we have seen in the market, throughout the market, especially on the NASDAQ, has to do with the Tesla move. 22% almost today. Insane. We are price-wise at 260, which is crazy. I think if you heard me talking yesterday, I was really thinking that we were going to go to the 240 level, which is right here, right? And maybe maintain there and continue going to the 250. That's how I was structuring my thought process. And then, 250 as a psychological level, that didn't even matter. And then now you're at 260. I think 265 is very possible. However, you also have a situation now that you really had a very aggressive move today. Don't be surprised if you see a little bit of red between tomorrow and Monday and whatnot. But I do believe that now Tesla is going to run. It might really run again. Let's take a look at the weekly. And look at this. Boom, man. This is crazy. And as I said yesterday, my expectations were the complete opposite. After the Robotaxi event, I really thought that Tesla was going to disappoint yesterday, and I was absolutely wrong. And I'm more than happy to be wrong because I'm a Tesla holder. But my expectations were very low. And again, I'm very happy that things went the way they went. I did post a summary of earnings on X. But anyways, I definitely wasn't expecting a 22% move. I was expecting between 8 and best case scenario, crazy scenario, 12%, which is normally the type of range that you have on Tesla after earnings. Gee, but I really wasn't expecting that type of move. So you have here, for example, on the past earnings report, we were down 12.33%. See, so I thought this is kind of what is going to happen. Let's take a look at the other one. And you move after on April, you had a good report. You went up 12%. Fantastic, right? And here you went down 12%. So I thought I was like, give or take, we're going 12%, which was putting me at the 206 or 200 level, which was what I was thinking we were going to get. I was replying to people on X that my price target for earnings was between 206 and 200, which is where the 200 SMA is. And boy, I was very wrong, and I'm happy to be wrong. Anyways, don't be surprised if you see a little bit of maybe red, but also you have to keep in mind that the short interest in or the levels of shorting that Tesla have are pretty high, and I think that also might keep propelling the stock towards 265 and maybe higher. Let's take a look at what comes after. Gee, you really don't have nothing until this area right here, which is 280. Okay, so we'll see if we break 265. It was a little bit stubborn last time here in July, and then we also had a little bit of a hard time. Well, not a little bit. We got rejected on the beginning of October. We are back at this level. This is it's just crazy. Again, the market cap of 20% or 22% on Tesla is give or take. You can fact check me on this. I think I could be wrong, but I think it's about $150 billion. Just imagine that. So this is great. I really don't have much to say other than be absolutely surprised, and definitely I feel like I don't know. There is I've never seen this, to be honest, and there is definitely lessons to learn. It's a good positive lesson, I guess. It's just incredible, in my opinion. I wish people were talking more about how impactful this move is, especially for a company like Tesla, and especially considering the amounts of money that have been involved in this type of transaction. 204 million shares today. That was a volume. Very impressive. I think we had a move similar. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit hung up on this, but we had a similar move on 2002 that was also close to this type of area. But for a company this size, 20% is incredible. Let's just for giggles take a look at TSLL. 40 something percent, 43, almost 44%. If you were trading this, because contracts are a little bit cheaper for this, you know, it's a Tesla bull, 2x Tesla. If you were in here, whew, that was fantastic. You know, sometimes I trade TSLL. I haven't in a while, but again, I'm glad I didn't do trade this, because again, even though I was thinking that you know, that the earnings report wasn't going to be positive, I also had doubts, and that's why I was like, you know, I'm just going to leave it alone, and I'm not going to, and I don't trade earnings for the most part. I was like, nah, I'm not going to touch it. Okay, let's finish the video. Anyways, Tesla, if you actually had calls yesterday, man, I wish I could shake your hand. I'm super happy for you. And, you know, I'm of the type of person that thinks that everybody should be making money. You know, there's enough money for everybody. Anyways, let's move on. Let's do XLI, and that would be industrials, and which is an ETF for industrials. I was looking at this early in the morning, and I'm just looking at it right now. I saw this in the beginning of the trading session, and I was like, wow, if we break this support level, this is going to look fantastic. And look at this. The reason why I was thinking or telling myself that is because the MACD and the TSI are extended enough, and now look how they are looking. RSI is already on its way. So I wish let's take a look at the 5. I wish I did buy. We all say that, right? Because I was looking at right at the beginning of the session, and I was like, oh man, this looks, I'm gonna give it one more day. Well, I don't think I'm late. And again, maybe if tomorrow we are well under, let's take a look at the 15. Yeah, I want to see myself a little under this, maybe somewhere around this level, 135 point something. I think, yeah, I want to be around where the week is, 135.5. There's opportunity here. Let's see what is the behavior on the 35 SMA, which is your next support level, and but it's looking weak. It really is. Take a look at these indicators right here. This whole sector is looking a little bit weak. You have a volume shelf right here, which could actually be a little bit of a resistance to the downside, or support, I guess. But keep that in mind. I think if we go under this, which is around 34.7, you have a gap right here. Now you also have earnings coming in the way. If things start turning around for this sector, then you are actually gonna have this thesis invalidated. But again, it's a little bit of a roller coaster to trade during earnings. Normally I try to stay away from it and just look and wait for the right setups, and just enjoy, you know, the earnings season, I guess, without stress. There's a lot of value on that. Anyways, traders, this went a little bit too long. Anyways, see you guys maybe tomorrow, if not Saturday and Sunday. Take care. Bye bye.